Hello, everybody. Can you guys hear me? Can you just write on chat if I'm audible and you can hear me clearly? Yes, lovely. Okay, for those who haven't mentioned on the group their name, their email address, and their exam board, please do so on the WhatsApp chat while we wait for others to join the meeting. So I'm going to wait about 3 to 4 more minutes and then I'm going to start the meeting. I'm going to start the class. Until then, please make sure you write your name, your email address, and your exam board so that after class, we can share access to the free resources as well as today's recordings and the PowerPoint. And while we're waiting, how about you guys on chat write your names and where you're from. My name's Miss Maheen. I'll be teaching you business today. I've been with the academy for over 3 years and I've been teaching business studies for over 10 years. And so let's see. Where are you guys from? Tell me your names. Write it on your Zoom chat while we're waiting for everybody. Wow. Really? Oh, lovely. From Persia. Lovely. Carrie from Lebanon. Abdul is from Dubai. Hello, Abdul. Um, I would Nasma, right? Nasma, I would please appreciate if you could send it on the WhatsApp group chat your name, your email address, and your exam board. Why I'm saying that is because we're going to be sharing the recording and the resources and the free resources as well, so that you'll be able to get access to them after class. Our administration is going to get in touch and share details with you. Okay, we have about 11 participants. Um, yes, we are the last few chapters. Kareen, is it Kareen or Kareen? Which exam board are you? What I've done, so okay, I GCSE Edexcel or Cambridge? Cambridge, lovely. Okay, so don't worry. The last chapter of Cambridge, External Influences, is the first one that I'll be talking about because I know it's a very important unit and a lot of you find it difficult. So, before I begin, let's talk about a few things, guys. Okay, so, um, for the ones who've just joined, please share your name, your email, and your exam board in the WhatsApp group today, right now. so that our administration can give you access to today's classes recording, other free resources, and the PowerPoint that I'm sharing with you guys right now. Now, I'm screen sharing right now over here is that so at the academy we offer a free trial class. You get to experience how the chapter or the unit will be taught, and something is up with my screen share now. So okay, yeah. Yeah. So we have, obviously we have one-on-one live classes, and if we have batch classes, they are no more than 3 students in that batch, because we focus a lot on your giving you a one-on-one experience, giving you a small group if we are in a batch class, so that you can get all the attention. The focus is always on first the content, and then towards the end of lecture, how I do it is I do the past paper practice after that. And yes, guys, I'm going to answer your questions towards the end of the session. This is going to cover Cambridge as well as Edexcel. It's pretty much the same thing. The syllabus is basically the same. So, the academy also offers, so what happens in our sessions is that when we've got our 1 hour class or 2 hour class, or you decide you want to have a class twice a week, once a week, whatever, but you have a one-on-one session, and apart from that we do past paper practice. You get access when you sign up, you get access to our resource center, which consists of all the previous recordings and the recordings of the lesson that you've had with me or with the respective teachers. Apart from that, we do a lot of revision. We've got quizzes, we've got online quizzes, and we share the notes. So I would say please take a screenshot of this particular slide. You can scan the QR code and get in touch with the administration to sign up. I'll give you a second to really quickly take a screenshot if you need to. And I hope everybody's got it. So let's move forward. Okay. So today's lesson is going to focus on the important topics, which I believe are the most important ones that I've always seen come up in your exams, be it Edexcel, be it CAIE. And these are the topics that, one, you people had requested on the group for me to focus on. So I've tried my best to cover all of that in today's lecture. And apart from that, these are the topics that I feel with my experience that a lot of students find challenging. Then we're going to cover exam technique. We're going to cover exam technique for both Edexcel and Cambridge. Okay. And then finally, once you're done with that, you are going to get access. I'll give you guys a free hand on the group chat, on the Zoom chat, and you can throw any questions, and I'll be answering your questions towards the end of the session. I would tell you, do not leave till the end of the session. Why? Because we are going to be sharing the recording and all the resources with you towards the end. Okay. So guys, let's begin without further ado. Okay. Now I want you to, okay, tell me, who is this guy? Do you guys know who this guy is? Can write it on the group chat. Steve Jobs. Okay. Abdul Shakur said Steve Jobs. Nasma said Steve Jobs. Hmm. Does everybody else agree? Steve Jobs? Yes, this is Steve Jobs, indeed. Okay. Who's this guy? Mark. Mark who? Mark Zuckerberg. Yes. But um what business does he own? Or how do we know this guy? Why is he so famous? He's the founder of Facebook, Meta. Yes, absolutely. And finally, here's this guy. Do we know who this one is? Elon Musk. And what business does Musk have? Yep, absolutely. Yes, owns and runs Tesla. Okay. Okay, there's another one I want you to. Who is this guy? Do we know who this one is? Bob. Bob the Builder. Absolutely. Now, what is common amongst all these four men? What is it that is common between these four people, four characters, the cartoon and the four people that I showed you guys? What is common amongst them? Anybody? You can drop on the chat. One thing that is common between all these four people. Yes, yes, absolutely. IS. They're all entrepreneurs. Now, who is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is somebody who takes a financial risk, who has that ability. Now, a lot of us, we would, we'd go have a 9 to 5 job and, live a vanilla lifestyle, fine. But it is these entrepreneur that who go ahead, they go out and they take a financial risk in order to get profit in return. This is a French word. It simply means risk taker. If you translate it into English, this French word means a risk taker. And so therefore, we know that entrepreneur is somebody who takes a financial risk in order to gain profit in return. Okay, factors of production. I'm hoping these are on your fingertips. Land, labor, capital, and enterprise. Entrepreneurship. In order for you to be able to run and actually start up a business, you need natural resources, you need land, you need a place to actually set up the factory or set up your retail outlet, whatever it is that you want to do. You need that land, you need that area, and you need the natural resources around you in order to have that business started up. Then you need labor. You need employees. You need their skills, their experiences, their ideas, their labor, their physical strength to be able to accomplish what you want to do. Capital there are two types of capital in the factors of production. This capital, one, capital machinery, the tools, the buildings, the resources, the technological resources that we use in order to produce or get the product from the producer to the consumer. And then there is a financial capital, the money that you invest in order to start the business. And then finally comes your entrepreneurship, the ability or the skill to be able to put together the other three resources, the other three factors of production, labor, land, and capital, and take a financial risk in order to start a business. Hence, these factors of production are the core foundation of a business. If one is missing, you cannot run a business. You can't even start the business. Okay? Moving forward. A very, very, very important thing I've noticed, I've seen a lot of students get confused between the legal structures, the business structure. So let's talk about them. Now, in a business may take any shape, form, size, whatever. Businesses can be within the public sector or within the private sector. Now, businesses that are within the public sector are owned by the state, by the government, and it is owned, run, and controlled by the government. They have the major control, they take the core decisions. Within the public sector, we could have, we could have um, uh, state-owned schools, we could have hospitals, we could have metro bus services, your sub underground train services. It is the government that builds the roads, the infrastructure. Um, it is your public sector aims to um, find the benefit for the economy, for the country, for the society, for the people living in that country, and help improve their lifestyles. And where do they get the money from? Where does the public sector get the money from in order to do this? Karine, we're going to share the PowerPoint slides at the end of the class. So you can take a screenshot later then, okay? And yes, Abdul, absolutely. From the taxes, there are different taxes. There is income tax, then you pay for all the duty, the VATs. All of that is the financial resource for the public sector, for the government, so that they take that money and then they invest in the country in order to improve the lifestyles of the people, their standards of living of the people living in the country. Okay? And then finally comes the public sector, the private sector. Yeah. Now, private sector is a little extensive. Within the private sector, there are different legal structures, different shapes, sizes, forms businesses might take. Okay? First of all, a sole trader. The word sole means single. And that's how you should remember that a sole trader is a business that is owned by one single person. Okay. Sole traders rely on their own savings or bank loans or loans from friends and family to finance their business. They are the entrepreneurs, they take the financial risk on their own in order to start a business. Okay. And these are usually small sized businesses like hairdressers, butchers, electricians, and so on. Right. And a very key, a core advantage of a sole trader is that they get to keep all the profit for themselves. And they can also run their business the way they want. Take days off when they want. They're their own boss. They don't need to ask anybody before making a key decision. And it's also easy to set up. No as such legal requirement. You just need probably a country's local license, and then you just start your business. And especially if it's online, you can start like this. You guys can start a business right now online. So, however, a sole trader, what usually happens with a sole trader is that now they're small businesses or they're usually startups or they're single owned businesses. So banks or other financial suppliers, mostly banks, they don't trust sole traders. They think that if I'm going to give this particular guy $10,000, I don't think he can single-handedly run his business. He's probably going to fail, and there's no point of me giving him $10,000 because he won't be able to return that with the plus the interest. So usually banks do not trust sole traders, and therefore it can be difficult for them to raise finance. Another major disadvantage of a sole trader is that it has unlimited liability. Does anybody know what an unlimited liability is? Can they write it up on the chat? Let me see if you guys are awake. When they are liable for all the debts of the business. Yep, okay. Abdul is really awake right now. Definitely had 2 cups of coffee. When the business and the owners have a separate legal entity, okay? Anybody else? Abdul and Nasma are the only two awake? Where are the rest of them? So, if I was to say it in very simple words, an unlimited liability is when you are personally liable for all the debts, okay? A sole trader is liable for the organization's debts. What that means is that the personal assets of that sole trader are at a risk. So let's say Bob started a building business, okay, and he borrowed money from a bank. Let's say he got lucky, he got a bank loan, $10,000, and his building company crashed, or he was unable to raise the funds to return to the bank in time. Now he's in trouble. He will have to sell his own personal assets, maybe his car, maybe his house, maybe whatever he owns. He's got to sell that in order to get the money back, in order to get the money so that he can pay the bank. That is what an unlimited liability is. When a sole trader is liable for the organization's debt. If you've borrowed money from a bank, you have to give it back no matter what, even if it involves selling your personal assets. You do not have a separate legal entity. Okay? Your business and you are one. So you have to sell your own assets in order to return that loan. Then comes a partnership. A partnership is when two or up to 20 or two or more people join together and they run a business. So it is, again, it's easy to start up, but it is a business, is a partnership is a business that is set up with a deed of partnership. There's a document that all the partners sign. It's like a written agreement called the deed of partnership, deed of partnership. And it consists of all the investment every partnership partner has. It consists of who's going to get how much percentage of the profit, all the ground rules, or all the clear instructions that nobody's going to go and take a loan on the company's name without everybody's consent. The deed of partnership is an agreement in order to avoid conflicts between the partners. It is not a legal requirement, but it is always recommended and suggested that when you start a partnership business, you have all your partners sign a deed of partnership. A core advantage of partnership is that your partnerships can raise more finance than sole traders. Your banks are more likely to lend money to an organization that has many partners than as compared to a sole trader. When you're in a partnership, let's say Bob, the builder, joins with Postman Pat and with Tom, and they all come together and they share their skills, their experiences, their their degrees, whatever they've learned, and they've come together, share their ideas. And when you're working together, sharing your experiences, your ideas, you tend to come up with much better and more creative ideas. It is called creating a synergy, Synergy. When people come together, they share their skills, they become more productive, more efficient, they create a synergy. It's a major key term that you can use in your answers in order to achieve a higher grade. These are the moments in the exam when you get to show off your knowledge. A synergy. Synergy in simple words is like 1 plus 1 is an 11, or 1 plus 1 is 3, not 2. What I mean by that is when people come together, they work together, they bring their skills together, they share their experiences together, they bring their innovative ideas together, they tend to be more productive as compared to how they would have been working if they were doing and working individually. So in partnerships, a major advantage is that you get to create synergies, more creative ideas, more innovation. Workload is shared. But then there's a catch. In partnerships, you may be sharing losses, but you are sharing profits as well. Each partner has a certain amount of investment and they're going to get the percentage ownership in return, the percentage of the profit in return. Partnerships also have unlimited liability, unfortunately. However, there was a partnership limited liability act in the UK in 2007, where some partnerships were allowed to have limited liability. But this is for your knowledge. You don't have to worry about that. We, as per our course, know that partnerships do not have limited liability. So if they've borrowed money and they fail to return that money, then they are losing their assets. They have to sell their own assets in order to pay off the bank loan. Now, another core disadvantage is that you have to discuss everything with your partners before making a decision. And when you do that, one, it makes everything time consuming. So decision making becomes slow. And two, it creates conflicts because Bob might say, I want to grow the business. And Postman Pat might say that, no, I want you to give the returns of the recent sales that we made because I want to go on a holiday to Europe, right? So there could be disagreements between the partners. And therefore, so we know that the partners may not always agree to the decisions for the business. So these are the two business structures that have unlimited liability: sole traders and partnership. Both of them do not have limited liability. So they're the ones that have unlimited liability. Then comes your limited companies. And the reason why they're called limited companies is because they have limited liability. Now, let's talk about the limited companies. Very, 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 very important to be all ears now because this is usually kids get confused with this. Your limited companies are those companies that can sell shares. Shares are a part ownership to raise part ownership in the company. So I can go right now and I can go invest in Apple and buy a share and I can become a part owner of that company. Shares is a proportion of the ownership of the company that you can purchase as a shareholder. People who own the shares in the company are called shareholders. Okay. And other people can obviously buy these shares and become a shareholder in the company. Now, there are two types of limited companies. It is very important to know the difference. Does anybody know the difference between a private limited company and the public limited company? What's the core difference between the two of them? Can anybody write in the comments and tell me? Let's see if you guys know the difference between private limited company and a public limited company. Private limited companies don't have shares on the stock market. Okay. So where can they sell shares? Why are they called share? Why can yes, absolutely. Yes, Abdul. You can sell shares to close friends and families, and that is the core difference between the two companies. In a private limited company, you can sell shares to your friends, your family through word of mouth. However, in a public limited company, you have the advantage of selling shares to the general public. So you can put up your share on the stock market, and you can go and buy it. Anybody can go and buy a share in the company. Why don't you all grab your phones real quick and quickly search the share price of Apple today? What is the worth of one share in Apple? And then tell me, how much is one share in Apple for today? $169.3 USD. Okay, it's increased since I started teaching the start of the year. It was on 130 something. It's gone way up. Wow. You all right now can go and buy a share in Apple. That's what a public limited company is. A public limited company can sell shares like this at a click of the finger. Why? Because they put it up on the stock market, and it's very easy for them to sell shares. It's available for sales to the general public. Meanwhile, private limited company, yes, they have the advantage of raising share capital by selling shares. However, it is a bit challenging for them to sell shares because they cannot put their shares up on the stock market. They can only sell it through the word of mouth to friends, to family, to even employees, which is by the way. So yeah. So that is these are the two core limited companies. Now, advantages, a great source of finance. Share capital is a major source of finance. You can raise finance, and usually with limited companies, be it a private limited or a public limited, you can get a bank loan really easy because you're a big business, and they trust you with the money. And apart from that, the disadvantage with a both limited companies are that you have legal requirements. Okay. In a private limited company, you have only two legal documents that you have to fulfill. Does anybody know the names of the two legal documents that are required in a private limited company? Very good. Articles of association, and there's one more. The other one is called a memorandum of association. Yes, it's memorandum of association. I'm going to write it on the chat for you guys as well. Memorandum of association. A memorandum of association is a legal document that explains why the organization was founded, right? It establishes the authority, the terms and conditions of the company, the laws, the regulations, and all of its interactions outside. Okay. Um, Meanwhile, Articles of Association is a document that highlights the rules of how the company will be operated. Okay, as to how the company, who are the owners of the company, what is the purpose of the company. It consists of the financial records. So in a limited company, all your financial information is out in the public limited company. Everybody can see your cash flows, your income statements, your all of your financial data. So your articles of association is a document that clearly identifies all of that. These are the two documents that are required in a private limited company. However, in a public limited company, there are three legal requirements. One, articles of association. Two, memorandum of association. And three, a prospectus. Okay? A prospectus is needed in a, yep, I've just written the spelling on the group, on the chat as well. A prospectus is needed in a public limited company. Now, I'm sure a lot of you might have gone to, schools or colleges, and you would have received like a handbook or an ebook, or which clearly identifies the school or the college and the facilities it offers, and what their aims are, what their objectives are, and what their promises are, and who owns it and who's what, all of that. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what a prospectus is. In a public limited company, because, if I want to invest in a company, I want to know about the company. What is that company making? What is the aim of the company? What are the objectives of the company? What are the facilities that they offer? Or so it is like a promotional handout or a handbook that attracts or guides shareholders or potential shareholders to see whether or not they should invest, and they're kind of convincing the shareholders to invest in their company. So a prospectus is another legal document that gives a clear outline of what the business is and what it's about, right? So these are the three legal requirements in a public limited company. And then finally comes your final private sector organization legal structure, which is a franchise. A franchise is a business based upon the use of a brand name. You use a company's brand name, you use an existing company's logo, their trading methods, their reputation, in order to, you basically just buy a license from them, and then you use their logo, their promotional logos, their trading methods in order to start a business. It's a very safe way for a startup, for an entrepreneur to start up if they don't want to, take a risk, right? So there are two key terms. A franchisee is the person who buys the right from a franchisor to copy a business format. Meanwhile, a franchisor is the one who sells the right to use a business idea in a particular location. So an entrepreneur can opt to set up a new independent business and try to win customers, but an alternative for them, a safer way, is to buy into an existing business and acquire the right to use an existing business idea. That is what franchising is, right? We are well aware of a very famous franchise, McDonald's, there's KFC, there is Pizza Hut, there is Domino's. There's a lot of franchises that anybody can, so you can buy a license, you can start up that business, but in return, there's a drawback. Of course, there's a drawback. You have to give those people a royalty payment. So the franchisor gets a percentage of the profit at the end of the year, or a fixed time period that's been decided amongst them. And in the beginning when you buy that license, it is very expensive as well. So that is a disadvantage. However, it is less risky as compared to being a sole trader, because you already have established customer base. Your national marketing is done by the franchisor, and you are going to be guided by the franchisor. So it's a very safe way to start a business. All right. I hope we are all clear on private and public sectors. And I am going to, before I sum it all up, I'm going to throw a question at you guys. Okay. Tell me, I'm going to write a question on the chat and I want you to answer that. What is the difference between a private limited company and private, let's make it different. What is the difference between a public limited company and public sector? Okay. What is the difference between a public limited company and a public sector? Who can answer that? Okay, Nasma, and what is a public limited company? I want everybody to answer this question. It's a very important question. A lot of students get confused. I want to know the difference between a public sector and a public limited company. Okay, good job, Nasma. The first one to answer. Abdul, I want you to read thoroughly what you wrote because because you've confused the two terms. Your definition for public sector is not correct. Very good, Hasma. I hope I said your name right. Come on, guys. Let's go. I want more answers. It's a very, very, very important difference you need to know between the two of them. In your exam, read the question carefully. If it's asking for a public limited company or it's a public sector, do not get confused. In the case study, in your exam, in a case study, especially that comes up in your paper ones or paper twos, it could say Bob is in the public sector or Bob has a public limited company, and you can assume something and get the entire case study analysis wrong and the answer wrong. So be very careful. You must know the difference. Okay. Public sectors are owned and operated by the government to provide public services, whereas public is owned by individuals. Excellent. Well done, Iman. Okay, I'm going to read out this definition, that the difference that Iman wrote. Uh, she said public sectors, and please listen carefully because this is how you should be differentiating between the two. A public sectors are owned and operated by the government to provide public services, such as, hospitals, state-owned schools, whatever, blah, blah. Whereas a public limited company is owned by individuals within the private sector who sell their shares to the general public. So the difference between a public limited company is that it comes under the private sector. A public limited company is within the private sector. Meanwhile, a public sector is the sector that is owned and run by the government. Please know the difference, guys. This is very important. A lot of students get confused with it. Yes, Karine, you got it right. Okay, guys, so let's sum it all up. Types of organization: a sole trader, single owner. Limited liability, not there. Continuity, not there. What do we mean by continuity? That if a sole trader dies, the business will not continue because who's going to run it, right? They have sole traders do not have a separate legal identity. They are not incorporated. What I mean by that is that if Bob is a sole trader and he made a building, and that building the roof broke down and it killed or injured the residents, that resident can file a lawsuit on Bob and Bob will be put to jail. But if Bob's business, Bob's building business was a private limited company, it would have a separate legal identity. So if he made a building and the roof collapsed and it fell and injured an individual who filed a lawsuit on Bob's business, Bob would not be put to jail. His company will be sued. He will not be personally sued. This is what we mean by having a separate legal identity. A sole trader cannot sell shares. We know that. They don't have general meetings. They don't have board of directors. Partnerships, 2 to up to usually 20. They do not have limited liability. They may or may not have continuity. They do not have a separate legal identity. They cannot sell shares to the general public, and obviously they cannot hold board meetings. And then we have private limited companies. Okay. Okay, private limited companies can sell shares to the general public. There can be 2 or more owners. And private limited company can they can sell shares, but to friends and family. They have a legal identity. There is continuity. They do have general meetings, and they're run by board of directors. And finally, public limited companies, 2+ owners. Yes, they have a limited liability. Yes, they have continuity. Yes, they have a legal identity. Yes, they can sell shares to the general public, and they do have board of directors as well as they can run general meetings. And this is a summary of everything that we just covered in the last hour. Okay, let's see. Okay, a very, very important topic. Okay, first tell me, guys, how is it going so far? Everything clear? Any confusions? Nasma, yes, if you have 20 partners, then of course you will have continuity, right? Um, But there are some cases, let's say there were 2 partners and then one dies and then, one is left. They might not run the business. They might not continue the business. But yes, mostly there is continuity, you could say that. Perfect. Excellent. I'm glad to see that everybody is clear. Let's move forward. Now the next topic. Very, very, very important topic. And this is the first unit in the Edexcel syllabus and the last unit in the Cambridge syllabus. The external influences, the external market. We know that, first tell me guys, have you guys ever heard of a BlackBerry? Heard of a BlackBerry, that button phone that went all trendy? Yes, you guys have heard of the BlackBerry. Excellent, right? So what happened to the BlackBerry? It got discontinued because of the competition. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Technology evolved and it couldn't keep up. Very good. Very good. Anybody else wants to add something? That's exactly what happened, Asma. Yes, absolutely. Now we need to know that the external market, and I want you to like memorize this line because this this. My students know this. They're in the meeting as well. They know that this is my favorite line. The external market is dynamic. The market is always changing. Therefore, for a business, in order for them to succeed and survive, they must adapt. You need to literally learn this line and throw it in your conclusions, especially when you're talking about the external environment, right? Or product or marketing mix, whatever it is. The external market is dynamic. It is important for a business, whatever the case study is, Bob's business, Postman Pat's business, whatever the business is, the business to adapt to the external changes in the market in order to survive and be successful. Or otherwise, you're going to end up like a BlackBerry. What happened with the BlackBerry is that they were buttoned phones, not user-friendly phones. Eventually, touchscreen phones came in. A new iPhone was launched. They had better cameras. They were user-friendly, and people stopped using BlackBerries because they were very rigid, not user-friendly, probably mostly made for corporate, and they became obsolete. BlackBerry tried to adapt. They launched a BlackBerry Bold. I remember the Bold 4 had a touchscreen, but it also had buttons. And it was still a very rigid phone because it had its own you'd be very restricted to it. Meanwhile, an Android had its own those own software, and then Apple had its own iOS, and they were too user friendly and easy for people to use. And that's what killed BlackBerry. Even Nokia tried, Nokia had button phones, they had their peak stage, and then they eventually died. They tried to bring in a touchscreen called a Nokia Lumia, but it was a Windows phone. So you'd click on start and it went like a computer desktop. And it was a very rigid phone. So now, many businesses exist in order to meet a specific need or fill a certain gap in the market. And to do this, they sell goods, services, or sometimes even both. An entrepreneur might start a business because they know that there is a demand for the good or the service. They might identify the gap in order to, and then they'd fulfill that demand. A dynamic market is one that is in a rapidly changing is the rapidly changing business environment. In order to understand what makes a business dynamic, it is necessary for you to actually understand that the market that the business is operating in. So, and you should know this for a fact, your case studies will always give hints or directly tell that what is the market like right now. Is the consumer taste changing? Is there new technology? Is the demand changing? Is the product becoming outdated? um let's say, are the laws changing? The external market consists of the following factors: pastel: political, economical, social and cultural, technological, legal, and environmental. The political and legal is the laws, the government policies that the government sets. You could say the government might put a ban on a particular product, but you are selling that product. And if the government decides to introduce a policy, let's say you have a tobacco business and the government puts a ban on smoking in the country. It is illegal to smoke in our country. Your business is going to be affected, obviously. It's going to be, you're going to have to do something else. Think of a different strategy in order to have your business survive, because what you were selling is now illegal to sell. And then the economic environment. So the economic environment, your economic influences, these I've written a few possible economic influences that can affect the business. and their business strategy. If in the country there is high unemployment rate, a lot of people don't have jobs, they're jobless, what's going to happen is that individuals, they're going to stop spending a lot of money. Why? Because they don't have the money, because they don't have jobs. So high unemployment leads to less consumer spending, due to which a business might change its strategy in order to survive in the dynamic market, and they might lower the prices in order for people to in order to encourage people to buy. However, if the unemployment rate was low, there's a lot of money in the market, everybody has jobs, everyone has money in their pockets, and they're willing to spend the money. And when people are willing to spend the money, businesses, they're not going to miss out on this advantage. They're going to spend money, and if consumers are willing to spend money, businesses are going to charge a high price so that they can make more profit. So they may increase prices as the demand increases. Okay. What happens when the interest rate is increased? People may spend less as they're encouraged to save. Why? Because if in the banks, the interest rate is increased by the government and their economic policies says that, we're going to give higher returns. So what you'll do is, instead of spending the money, you'll put it in your bank. Why? Because you're going to get monthly free profit. Who doesn't like free money? So you'd put the money in the bank. You wouldn't want to spend that money so that you can get the financial return. Businesses might change their strategy and they may reduce the product size, but they leave the price unchanged. So they might, let's say they were selling a packet of crisps with 50 grams of chips inside it, but now they'll probably sell 30 grams of chips in the same price. So they may reduce the product size or the quantity, but leave the price unchanged. That will help them to increase their profit margin. Okay. Then we've got, and then again, the opposite, decreased interest rates that may lead to people spending more because they don't really get any incentive to save. And for that, businesses may launch bigger versions of the product at high prices, the bigger packets, and then people might, take advantage of that, and so on and so forth. Okay. These are your external economic influences, and these were just a few examples of how businesses may change strategies in order to take advantage or to survive in the economic changes in the country. Okay. Then let's talk about the changes in technology. This is a very, very important one. Technology today is rapidly changing. There you wake up and then there's a new AI, there's ChatGPT, there is Bard, there's Gemini, then you wake up one day, there's a new phone launched, and then you wake up one day, there's a new car launched. There's new technological developments rapidly happening in the globalized market right now. Okay. It can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. It can be an opportunity, a good thing, because developing a technology brings its opportunities by, you can launch new product. It gives you more opportunities to introduce new products with new features. It gives you the chance to adapt and bring in new features so that you can charge a higher price, allows you to have a competitive advantage. However, it also brings threats. Why? Because technology is expensive and you purchase something, you buy something, and what happens is that it becomes outdated. And then you'd have to buy another one. And then that would become outdated. And then you'd have to buy another one. So technological developments can be very, very, very dynamic and can be very challenging for businesses to keep up with. Who knows what e-commerce is? Or what is the difference between e-commerce and m-commerce? In the comments, guys, in the chat. What is the difference between e-commerce and m-commerce? Or what is e-commerce and what is m-commerce? Nobody knows? E-commerce is selling goods online. Okay. And what's m-commerce, Abdul? Okay, so e-commerce is any business transaction that takes place using the internet. For example, you know, um, Alibaba, eBay, Amazon. That's e-commerce. When businesses are selling they're having transactions using the internet online, right? And then Abbas says mobile commerce is basically transactions taking place on applications and mobile applications, which is exactly that it is. So first revolution was first we started selling products in the market. Then came the external technological influence. Notice the dynamic market here. Physical store, then we moved towards e-commerce, where we could make purchases through our laptops using the websites like Amazon and Alibaba and whatever you guys would know about eBay. And then from e-commerce, we went to m-commerce. M-commerce is mobile commerce. M-commerce is any business transaction that takes place through a mobile device, such as your mobile or your tablet. Why? Because M-commerce became more famous, more common. Why? Because nobody even goes on their laptop to place an order. Our mobile phones are placing an order is at your fingertips. So you can just simply place an order and it's very convenient and people prefer now, and there's a massive growth of m-commerce because we want convenience. We want to lay in our beds and just order away, right? And then eventually another technological influence is social media, which pretty much everybody uses. Social media platform has allowed businesses and customers to interact. It has improved the customer relationship management called CRM. This has been a major opportunity. So if I have a complaint and I did not like the product, I will just go write a very bad review on their Facebook page. Then the owner can get in touch and be like, hey, what was your concern? And let us give you a complimentary product for you to make it up to you. And then, you get your complimentary product, you get happy. Who doesn't like free stuff? And you'd go back and delete your comment there. Social media has connected business owners or, the people running the business, be it the business owners, be it the employees, be it the social media managers, and in bridge that gap of connecting both of them together. So business owners and customers can connect and have a direct interaction, personal relationship, and be able to help. This allows these businesses to build a CRM, customer relationship management, leading to customer loyalty, customer retention, allowing the business to gain a better brand reputation. What I just did here is your analysis that you're required to do in your exam. I just built a chain of transitions here. We'll be talking about that towards the exam part of the class, but this is how you're built. How you have to build a chain of analysis. This will lead to, this will allow this is what's going to happen. Okay. Moving forward, technological influences, and then we do have our legal influences as well. There could be employment laws. If the government decides to, I'll just give you a single example here. If the government decides to increase the minimum wage rate, the business will be directly influenced. Why? Because now they have to ensure that they meet the minimum wage rate. They're paying the employees the right amount of money, the right amount of salary in order to avoid any legal fine and so on and so. So that will lead to a high cost, high overhead cost for the business. So therefore, it affects the business. So um legal employment changes, and that has a major change on the business. Okay, again, health and safety, businesses have to ensure that they fulfill the health and safety regulations in order for them to be able to, meet that requirement, avoid fines and so on. So again, this will also increase the business cost. Okay, all right, let's take a short game break. I'm going to share something with you guys real quick. And we're going to play a quick game here on the topic that we just covered. Okay. So give me a second. I'm going to set up the game for you guys and then we're going to play. Get your phones, guys, or whatever is handy for you because we're about to have a major competition. Let's see who wins. Okay, I'm going to screen share something with you guys. Okay, guys, really quickly on Google, go to play.bluekit and play.bluekit.com. It's going to ask for a game ID where you have to put the ID and then join this game. This game is on the external influences that we just did. So there's 11 participants, and I want there's Miss Mehek and then there's me. So that means there's 8 students here. I want all 8 students over here on Blookit to join this competition. Let's see what you people have understood. Shahni is here. Nice penguin. Where are the others? Come on, guys. Let's go. Hello, Ayat. Abdul is here. Gabrielle. Come on, where are the others? Where are the others? Join, guys. Come on. Nasma, hello. We have 5 participants, 3 more to go. Kareen has also joined us, has been very active since the beginning. Abdul and Kareen. Well done. Iman is here. One more kid is missing. Who is that? All right. Reese, I don't see you. Hasmath, I don't see you. Come on. Join the game. Hello, Reese is here. Finally, Reese wants to be a chicken here. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, so there's 8 participants. All 8 participants are here. You guys can see my screen, yes? Oh, you are Shahani. Okay. All right, guys, so let's go. I'm about to start the game. There's going to be about 10 questions, I believe. And there's going to be 10 questions, and you are required to answer those. And it's probably a race. So let's see. Let's go. So we're going to be answering the questions. You'll be answering the questions. And we finally have a winner. Wow. Okay, we've got a winner, Gabrielle. Oh God, this is very loud. Lovely. So Gabrielle came first, and Ayat and Iman together came second. Amazing. Okay. I hope you were able to um, assess your knowledge on this quiz. Now let's move forward. Well done, Gabrielle and Ayat and Iman. Excellent. Good job. Okay. All right. Shall we move forward now? Or you guys want a minute's break? Have we hit the saturation yet? Let's we're about to do the marketing mix now, yeah? Yes, we're doing formulas after the marketing mix. Yep. Okay, so guys, we are now moving forward to our next core topic. We have covered two very important topics in this session so far. Let's talk about the most important, very important, usually comes up as your essay length questions, the marketing mix, the four P's. The four P's that stand for product, for price, promotion, and place. Okay, let's go and delve deeper into each of the marketing mix. Product. Your product aspect, it refers to the products as well as the services that the business sells. So a product can be tangible and intangible. Your A tangible product is obviously the one that you physically can feel when you make a purchase, but an intangible one is like a service. Sometimes some businesses can be both. A restaurant can be a product and a service. You're getting service at the restaurant. They're serving you food. They're helping you out, whatever you're asking for. They're there to support you, provide you with a good customer service and whatever. But they're also giving you a product by serving the food because you can touch the food, right? So your goods are tangible, of course, and your services are intangible. Now, a very important thing is a unique selling point in the product. And I cannot stress enough as to how important in today's dynamic business environment is the unique selling point. Today's market is highly competitive, it's dynamic, customers are picky, customers have a lot of choice to choose from because of high competition, due to which a business must stand out in the market. A unique selling point, a USP, is the essence of what makes your product or service better than the competition. What do you have that the others do not have is your USP. What do you do better? It helps you, most importantly, as a business to charge a high price and you can have a high profit margin. What I mean by a high profit margin is that it may cost you to make a particular product for $10. The competition is also making the product for, let's say, $10, but their product is pretty basic. It doesn't have any special customized features, let's say. So they're selling it for $15. The profit margin here will be in a percentage, obviously. Okay. And meanwhile, you can sell that same product, but since you're saying, okay, let's say I'm selling t-shirts, I'm going to offer customization. You can order and I can get your name printed out on the t-shirt. And because that is my unique selling point, customization, individual services allows me to charge a higher price, therefore where my competition was selling a t-shirt, simple t-shirt without the USP for $15, I'm selling another t-shirt for $20 to $25. Although getting the t-shirt customized, printing it on sticker may not have increased my cost so much, but I have increased my selling price to a double extent, which has allowed me to have a higher profit margin. And a strong unique selling point allows a business to build a strong competitive advantage and stand out, right? So, quick brain teasing question for you guys. What is the unique selling point for Apple? What is Apple's USP? Why does everybody want to do, why does everybody want to buy an iPhone or Apple products? What is the unique selling point for Apple? What makes them different than Samsung or Huawei or other brands of the phones? Their features, their camera quality, okay. Their marketing is consistent, okay. Still waiting for the actual answer. Samsung also has amazing marketing strategies. Yes, Abdul. Uh, their brand image is their unique selling point. It is, yes. 100% that is their unique selling point. What else? The brand reputation. Nobody talked about the app iOS. Apple's iOS is an mobile operating system that was developed by Apple itself exclusively just for their own smartphones. They bought a copyright on it, and nobody else can copy their iOS. It gives more security, more safety to their users. That is Apple's unique selling point. Apple's USP is their iOS and their brand reputation. Okay. Is selling products at a low price a unique selling point, guys? When you sell your products at a low price, is that a unique, is that a USP? Low cost, low price. I sell my products cheap. That's why I am the best and I have a competitive advantage. No. Shahani, why do you say that? Why is it not a unique selling point? It's because when you sell your products at a low price, you're selling it at a low price, fine, and everybody's coming to buy it. Oh my God, it's so cheap. I'm going to go buy from them because they're cheaper than the competition. It's a very weak USP. Why? Um, it's because your competition is going to reduce the price even further from to steal away from sales from you. Then what are you going to do? Your USP is gone. Are you going to reduce prices even further? And are you going to keep on having price battles? That is going to give you a loss. That unique selling point is not genuinely a USP. It's not something that you want to have as a competitive advantage because it's going to reduce your profit margin. Selling something cheaper to steal customers is not a unique selling point. So I have seen a lot of students write in their answers that Bob or whatever the case study was to suggest that they can sell at a cheaper price and steal the customer sales and be competitive. No, do not ever do that. Always advise in the case studies, in your answers, that the business should build a strong unique selling point by doing other things and not by reduced prices. You can have a USP by having a brand name. You can have a USP by added value. You can offer higher quality. You can offer creative design. You can offer features that others do not have. You can offer after sales service or better customer service. These are the things that help you stand out from the competition. Okay, let me give you guys an example. Let's say I went to buy an air condition. Okay, I went to buy an AC from two stores. Okay, I have a choice of two stores. Company A is selling an AC for $10,000, but they do not have any customer service and after sales service. However, company B is off selling the same air condition for $12,000. But they're saying we are offering you 10 years of free repair warranty if you purchase it. Although it is $2,000 more, customers would choose option B. Why? Because they would be willing to pay the extra $2,000 because it allows the customers to get a free repair services for the next 10 years. That is a unique selling point. Selling it cheaper is not going to get you sales in the long term. It's not going to get you profit in the long term. Always think about the long-term influence on the business. This is what you should think of. Know when you're writing your answers, doing your analysis. Never suggest in your answers that businesses should reduce their prices to steal customers. No. If the case study says that the market is competitive, build a USP, do product differentiation, stand out in the market. Do not reduce prices to steal customers. Never recommend that. That's a very C to D grade student's answer. We don't want to do that. Moving forward, why is branding so important? And what is branding? Branding is when you give your product an identity, the logo, a jingle, the value, the market that if you're standing far away and you see a yellow and red logo, you would know that it's McDonald's, right? You could even have a mascot. So your branding, it helps you to add value. It helps you to stand out. It helps customers recognize your products. It helps you stand out in the market. And it allows you to charge a higher price, right? Which means that customers, they always go towards the branded products. They don't want products that are, that are basic ones. And for that, they are willing to pay an extra price for that. Okay. Moving forward, product life cycle. How many of you find this challenging? A product life cycle? Yeah, is it difficult or is it just fine? I've seen a lot of students also get confused with the product life cycle, and the importance of product life cycle is what I'll talk about in the next slide. A product life cycle, just like us individuals, us humans, we have products also have a life. Products are before this particular stage. I hope you guys can see my mouse. There is a research and development stage. That is when the product is not in the market yet, and business is investing tons of money to research on the product, to test the product, to build samples, prototypes, and maybe even soft launch in an area. Soft launch means launching a product in a small area and see the customer's reaction, bring it back, make changes, and then launch the product. So it involves, it's always the situation where the brand would put up advertisement saying coming soon. You would have a negative cash flow in the development phase, and then you launch the product is finally introduced. You are likely to put up the promotion as you're going to put informative advertisement, let people know about the product, let people know about the features of the product, and help you help people, have people understand what you're selling, and gain some recognition, awareness. Then finally your sales begin to rise. You are still advertising, maybe persuasive advertising, and then you are obviously going to start making a profit. Then you finally go to maturity and saturation stage. That is when your sales, they don't increase and they don't decrease. You might reduce your advertising at the time. Why? Because this is the stage when your loyal customers are buying from you. During the growth stage, you were working on gaining customer retention, giving them good customer experience, trying to retain the customers through above the line and below the line promotional methods. And then eventually you got your loyal customers and they helped you survive through your maturity stage. And once that is over, your sales begin to decline and then your product dies out. Some businesses might even adopt extension strategies in order to extend the life of the product. So the products, you can maybe launch a new flavor, you can launch new sizes, new features. iPhones are not dying out because the Apple is introducing extension strategies every year by introducing a new iPhone model. That is an extension strategy. Meanwhile, Coke and Pepsi have been in the maturity and saturation stage for the last 40 years. So there can be some products that will probably stay there forever as well, right? This is a product life cycle. What's more important in a product life, in this particular part, in this particular chapter, is knowing what a balanced product portfolio is. A balanced product portfolio is when, if I have a business and I am selling only one product, let's say, um, let's say I am a business and I'm selling burgers. That's it, only burgers. Eventually, what happens that people in the country have become very, very aware of the health and they've stopped eating fast food. They've stopped eating burgers. People stop buying my burgers. What's going to happen then? I won't have any sales. I was only relying on one single product to bring me revenue. That is risky. A successful business will have a diversified product portfolio, which a diversified product portfolio means have a large variety of products on my product portfolio. So if I'm selling burgers, I'm selling shakes, I'm selling fries, I'm selling loaded fries, I'm selling drinks, I'm selling nuggets, a variety of products. What happens here is that if one product is not giving me profit, or one product is not giving me revenue, I will be able to generate profit and money from other product. If one product is a fail, the other is generating revenue for me. That is a diversified product portfolio, which allows the business to spread the financial risk. The reason why I've written this statement at the bottom is because you need to literally learn this line and add this in your conclusions or in your evaluations or your analysis of your answers. Bob should add more products to his product portfolio, and which will allow him to diversify and spread the financial risk because of his business. Why will it spread the financial risk? Because if one product doesn't give me profit, the other will. If the third one doesn't, the fourth one will. A balanced product portfolio is when your products are at different stages of a product life cycle. So in this case, let's say if product D is on the decline stage, so D has just been introduced, A is on a decline stage, B is on maturity, C is on growth. C is at its peak, it's making us a lot of money. So I'm going to take that money and I'm going to perhaps invest into product D that has just been introduced in the promotional activities. So a balanced product portfolio is that every product is at a different stage of the product life cycle. So I can take money from one place, throw in the other, take money from the other place, throw in the other one. This is how you manage your finances in a business. A balanced product portfolio allows the business to survive in the market, keep their inflows steady. Got it? The next P in the marketing mix is price. Price is the amount of money that the customers are willing to pay and the business charges from its customers. You want to set a certain price that the customers are willing to pay. If you're going to charge a higher price than what they're willing to pay, then you're in trouble because nobody's going to buy the product. And there are factors that will influence how you set your price. If the market is highly competitive, your pricing strategy will be competitive. You will be forced to set the same price or around the same price as your competition, and you will probably try and work on your product, add value, build a unique selling point so that you can stand out from the competition so you can charge a higher price. If the customers have a good opinion about about your product and they think that the product is worth it, then you might even charge a higher price. But if they think that your product is not worth it, then you can't charge a high price because nobody's going to buy it. At the same time, products like Apple's iPhones, if you have a strong brand reputation, no matter how much an iPhone is for, you are still going to see lines outside Apple stores at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning on the day the new iPhone is launched. Why? Because nobody cares about the money. We are willing to pay you the money. Your brand image is what's important. Everybody wants to hold an Apple product in their hand. Brand image allows some products to charge a high price because it is how the consumers perceive them. A brand is what you want, it's desirable. And businesses take advantage of that desire. They create that need, that want into a need. Okay. And then if the product in the market is short and it's not available, you're going to take advantage of that, start selling it at a high price so that you can make more money. Why? Because you know that people are desperate. They're going to buy the product no matter what I charge. So might as well make more money, right? And that's price for you. Promotion is how it's basically, I always say it's how the business communicates with its customers. Okay. There are two types of promotion: above the line promotion and below the line promotion. Okay. Above the line promotion is when a business directly pays to be advertised, to be known, to be connected to the customers. You pay to get an advert on the billboard, you pay to get an advert on the television, you pay to send out flyers, to get a photo on the magazine, whatever it is, that's above the line promotion. However, below the line promotion is where you try to invest money, not spend money on the advertisement, but invest money to build relationship with your customers. Below the line promotion includes buy one, get one free offers, sponsorships, point of sale displays, guerrilla advertisement, all of these things, loyalty cards, so that customers can come back to us, make a purchase with us, money off coupons. You go to Carrefour to buy something, you get a free Domino's pizza voucher, which gives you a meal discount. You're always going to go and shop from Carrefour because you want that money off coupon, right? That is below the line promotion. I hope it's so clear so far. And finally, place. Place is where you sell the product. It has to be convenient. It has to be where the customers are willing to purchase the product from. If you are making a product and Korean marketing mix is in the Cambridge syllabus, just by the way. All of this is in the Cambridge syllabus as well. Anyway, so it's how you want to create convenience for your product. You want to make sure that the product reaches your customer, and you do that through different distribution channels. You there could be three different distribution channels. You either produce and sell directly to the customer, that's manufacturer to customer. Then there is one thing that's missing, but that would be perhaps the wholesaler, manufacturer to wholesaler to customer. That's a single intermediary. And then there are two intermediaries that are manufacturer to wholesaler. Wholesalers are the business, are those people who buy from the business in bulk quantity and then starts selling it to the retailers, and then they finally sell it to the customers. And this is the place of the marketing mix. What's the most important thing in the marketing mix is knowing the importance of an integrated marketing mix. And I want you to know something that's very important. Again, I've added this statement at the bottom. This should be your signature conclusion point whenever there is a question on any of the marketing mix. In your recommendation for marketing mix, whether it's on product, price, promotion, place, or all four, you should always suggest that a business must ensure that their four P's are aligned and that it has an integrated marketing mix in order to ensure a successful marketing strategy. If you are selling a fast sports car, you will be selling it at a high price. You will be selling it in expensive, impressive showrooms. But would you be promoting it on a radio only? You won't, because it's not going to reach the right market. You're probably going to advertise your fast sports car on billboards or sports magazines, exclusive marketing. You need to make sure that the four P's are aligned. In the mix A for product A, where there's sports car, the four P's are not aligned. Why? Because the promotional strategy is wrong. If one P is messed up, your entire marketing strategy is going to fail. That means you must ensure that your four P's are aligned and there is an integrated marketing mix. Remember this for the conclusion of your answers. Have a look at B, C, and D and identify what is wrong with the marketing mix. And then write it on the chat. Okay, promotion for B. Okay. All right, Ayat. Think of other ways as well. Just online wouldn't be enough. What is wrong with the place for B, product B? Where should they sell it then? Suggest me the alternate method as well. Identify the problem with the marketing mix and then suggest where there should be, what should be the difference. What should we change in the marketing mix? So Abdul said the place for product B is messed up. And Ayat said the promotion for B should be online advertisement. If you see, product B is a range of furniture for families with low income. Your selling price is low cost, low pricing strategies, competitive pricing. So your pricing strategy is fine, but it's the place it's sold only over the internet. Maybe they should have physical stores because it's furniture and people want to touch the product, feel the quality of the product, and then make a purchase. And low income groups are too busy working. They don't have time to scroll over the internet. Promotional strategy, advertise on posters in free local newspapers. Their promotional strategy is perfect. Their place is wrong. They should be selling it at physical stores in low income areas. Let's look at product C, ladies hairdressing salon with well-known stylist. With product C, Abdul said the price of product C, since they are located in rich places, the prices should be higher to attract rich customers. Absolutely. Very good, Ayat. Pricing strategy should be skimming. So for C, the price should be price skimming for the high income customers. Low pricing may seem cheap and make them think that the hairstyling is of bad quality. Excellent. Very good. What about D, guys? Skimming. Place selling it at an expensive high class restaurant. You're advertising in business magazines and have a loyalty card scheme. What is wrong with product D's mix? Excellent responses, guys. I'm glad to see how you all are active. What about product D, guys? What's up with product D? What is wrong with the with the marketing mix of product D? Come on, really quickly, then we'll probably take a break. Yes. Okay. Very good. Anybody else? So Abdul says the place should be high income people that visit the top restaurant won't visit fast food places. Very good. The fast food restaurant is targeted towards rich people here in this case. The promotional strategy, you could say that we don't want to advertise fast food. Um, we don't want to sell fast food on a business magazine. It's going to seem very unfit there. So the problem with the marketing mix of product D is the promotion. You are not going to put a burger advertisement in a business magazine. Okay, that would be irrelevant. So guys, you need to understand that in the conclusion, always recommend in the marketing mix that the business must ensure that they conduct sufficient market research to understand the customer needs and meet their requirements, and they must ensure that they adapt to the dynamic business environment, and conclusively they must ensure that they have an integrated marketing mix and their four P's are aligned in order for them to gain a successful marketing strategy. And this is the conclusion of your four P's. So guys, real quickly, let's take a quick break. We're going to do another quick Blue Kid game, a different game this time. And I'm going to make this one really short. This one, I'll do a fishing one. Can do a fishing one. And let's see, I'm going to screen share the code and make it into, we'll do like a real quick 3-minute game here. Can you guys see the Bluekit code? Yes. Okay, come on guys, join in. This is the last game for today. And then we're going to take a quick 5 minute, 3 minute break, and then we're going towards finance. Let's join really quickly, guys. Come on. Kareen, your blue kit icon is very scary. I don't like it. Don't panic, relax. You'll be ready for the exam. Okay, guys, I'm going to start the game now. Oh, let's go. It's going to be a very short one, 3 games. And every time you answer a question, um, it's going to, you're going to do some fishing there. And let's go. There's 7 people. There are some instructions here. Please read them. Whoever has the highest amount of weight at the end is going to be the winner. The more faster, the quicker you answer your questions, the more weight you're going to have. Let's go, guys. Who is C? Get fishing, guys. Come on. Somebody got a boot. I think Kareen is at the top. Gabrielle following up. Iman third. Get fishing, guys. Ayat has caught up. Let's go. Somebody sent frogs to our screen. Wow, Ayat. Well done. Score to the top. Last 1 minute, guys. Twenty seconds left, guys. Ayat is still at the top. Well done. Kareen in following up. Then we've got Shani in the third position. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Who's winning? Let's see the final results. Ooh, I knew she was going to win. She was going so fast. Very nice. So Ayat is at the top. Kareen, I believe, is second, and Gabrielle is third. Well done, guys. Okay, guys. So before we finally move on to the next part, cash flow, let's take a quick break. You guys can refill your water bottles and come back, but do not take anything more than 2 minutes. I'm literally setting a timer for 2 minutes, and just take a walk, come back to me in 2 minutes, and we're going to start finances. I need your brains refueled for finance. Let's go. See you guys in 2 minutes. All right, guys, I hope everybody is back. Is everybody back? Give me a thumbs up or a comment if you're all back. I'm about to resume. Yes, great. Okay, a very, very, very core and important topic, which a lot of you had requested on the group that I am starting now, is the one and only cash flow and cash flow forecasting. Does anybody know the difference between cash flow and cash flow forecasting? Or are they the same thing? I could be asking a trick question, you know. What is the difference between these? Cash flow and cash flow forecast. Okay, let me see. I don't see anybody in the oh yeah, she's in the waiting room. Okay, just give her. I've let her in. Yes, guys, come on. Let's get back. Okay. So, what is the difference between cash flow and cash flow forecasting? Or are they the same thing? And I'm just testing you. I could be doing that. Very good, Aya. So forecast predicts the flow of cash for future, and cash flow is what the actual flow of the money is in the business. Cash flow is the it's the inflows, it's the movement of money in and out of the business. Um, it's let's get to the right slide. Yes. Cash flow is the movement of money in and out of the business over a period of time. Meanwhile, your cash flow forecasting, it involves the predicting the future flow of the cash in and out of the business. Your inflows are the money that is the money that's coming in the business. How can you get money in the business? One, through sales revenue by making sales. Two, by getting a loan or an external source of finance. And three, through an internal source of finance, your own savings or so on. Meanwhile, your outflows could be payment to suppliers, pay your overhead costs such as employee cost, employee salary, your rent, your bills, all of that, right? So businesses conduct cash flow forecasting. They try to predict the future flow of the business in order for them to make plan strategies, arrange sources of finance for perhaps when when our um, inflows are slow, inflows are negative, and our closing balance is negative. We might need an overdraft, so we'll arrange a source of finance. So what happens in a cash flow forecast, it allows the business to really plan what is going to happen in the future. Okay. So the business can arrange the source of finance, employ staff accordingly. If they're seeking more sales, more inflows, they'll employ staff. They might plan what they're going to do with the money that they make. They might invest in the business or a new product or in a new business, or they reward the owner for success, whatever it is. Cash flow forecast focuses on helping the business plan their financial resources for the next period of time. Let's get to some calculations, guys, you highly requested ones. Net cash flow Your net cash flow is the difference between all cash inflows and all cash outflows of the business. So your formula for net cash flow is cash flows minus cash inflows minus cash outflows. Very, very easy. Okay. If you look at the table on the right and look at the month of February, the net cash flow of the month of Feb is missing. Can anybody calculate and tell me what the answer is for net cash flow for what is the net cash flow for the month of Feb using the formula that is on your screen right now? Let's see who gives me the answer first. Is it going to be Kareen? Is it going to be Ayat or Abdul or Iman? Where is everybody? Come on, guys. What is the net cash flow? Very good. Abdul has answered me first, and his answer is 100% correct. Do not forget your pound sign. You will lose marks if you don't put the dollar or the pound sign. Abdul answered first. 2,550. Kareen, your net cash flow is equals to cash inflows minus cash outflows. So what happens here is that your total inflows are 6,000 of Feb, right? And you minus that with your total outflows of the month of Feb, which is 3,450. When you do 6,000 minus 3,450, your net cash flow is 2,550. Got it? Let's look at the next question. The closing balance is the amount of money the business has at the end of the reporting period, usually the last day of the month. Okay? So it's the money the business is closing at the end of the month. How do you get your closing balance? You take your net cash flow and you add your opening balance of that month, and then you get your closing balance. Can somebody calculate the closing balance? Karina, I want you to be really quick and do it. I know you're confused with cash flows. So I want you to answer this question. What is the closing balance for the month of January? Yes, I'm holding up. Go on. You can do it. I won't tell the answer out loud until you tell me the answer. Come on, guys. What is the closing balance for the month of January? Closing balance is equals to net cash flow plus opening balance. Abdul Shakur has done it again. He has given me the answer right away. But is it correct? Yes, it is. What about the others? What is the closing balance, guys, for the month of Jan? Well done, Abdul. Abdul, while we're waiting for others, you can calculate the opening balance for the month of March. Easy peasy. Well done, Hasmat Shahani. Excellent. Perfect answer. Correct answer. And Abdul, you forgot your pound sign again. We don't want to miss marks out because of that, okay? Excellent. Yes, 100%. Very good, Kareen. Yes, it is. The answer for month of January, the closing balance for the month of January is 5,650, because if you look at the red highlighted text that I've written at the bottom, if there is no previous period, then the opening balance will be 0. That means that for the month of January, we do not have the opening balance. The opening balance is 0 over here. That means the closing balance will be 5,650 for the month of January. Also, one more thing. Remember, guys, the numerics are not just numbers or talking about money. It's also sending you a secret message here. this cash flow statement is telling us that this particular business is a new business. It's a startup. How do we know this? Is because the opening balance was 0. Okay. And they've just started their business up, and they didn't have any money from the last month. So you also need to read between the lines. Okay, and then finally, the opening balance is the amount of money a business starts with at the beginning of the year, usually the first day of the month. Opening balance, if you don't have the closing balance of the previous month, so if you have the closing balance of the previous month, that becomes the opening balance of the next month. Shawnee, you got the right answer. But if you don't have the closing balance, then opening balance, then you simply, it's very simple. You don't have to make any effort. You just look at the previous month's closing balance and you just throw it in the opening balance. So for the month of March, the opening balance is 8,200 pounds, because for the month of Feb, the closing balance for it was 8,200 pounds. So we just took this 8,200 and we literally just threw it in the month of March, because we closed with that and we open with in the next month with that money. Are we clear with cash flow calculations, guys? It's pretty simple, very basic, nothing challenging. And in the exam, you're not going to get anything more challenging than this. That's all you get in the exam. So you don't have to be so stressed out. Okay. All right, now guys, I'm going to do break-even charts. I'm doing this, and after that, I'm going to jump straight to the paper practice. Might have to skip a few slides because we are running out of time. I really wish you guys had, if you guys had been with me since the start of the year, we would have really gone into details and done paper practice in so much detail, done the syllabus, and we were really short of time, unfortunately. Uh, and I really wanted to, go over everything with you guys, but we're running out of time. But let's do this for now. Okay, so break-even chart. A break-even point is the point where a business has covered its cost and is now at the center. It's not making a profit and it's not making a loss. Your break-even point is the point P over here, as you can see in the image of the chart that I've added over here. The P point is the point where the product business is not making a loss and it's not making a profit. It's in anything below P is a loss. Anything above P is the profit. The blue line is your sales revenue line. The red line is your cost line. And your total cost includes, the formula for total cost is fixed cost plus variable cost. Your break-even point is the point at which revenue and total cost are the same, which means that the business is making neither profit or a loss. Your break-even level of output informs the business on how the product needs to sell in order to reach the break-even point. What price should we set our product at? How much should we sell the product so that we can cover our cost quickly? So your break even, if you don't have the chart and you can't really, get the break even point, you can do it through the calculation. Break even level of output. How can I get the level of output? Let's say a business that sells t-shirt wants to find out what its break-even point is. Its fixed costs are 400 pounds. The selling price is 10 pounds. The variable costs are 6 pounds. The formula to get your break-even level of output is fixed cost divided by contribution margin. Now, what is contribution margin? Contribution margin is simple. So selling price minus variable cost. So in real terms, the break-even formula is fixed cost divided by selling price minus variable cost. Can you guys use this formula, look at my numericals in the white highlighted area and get me the break-even point of the t-shirts. How many t-shirts do I need to sell in order to cover my cost? Wow, Abdul, you're really, really fast. Well done. It's the correct answer for sure. Always remember, guys, in your exam, there's a calculation question. There's 1 mark for writing the formula. The second mark is to put in the numbers within the formula. And the third mark is for your answer with the uh with the right unit. Yes, Kareen, yes, Ayad, yes, Abdul. 100 is the correct answer. I believe so it is. Let's see. So we do break even is equals to 400 divided by 10, 10 minus 6, which is 400 divided by 4, and the answer is 100. Okay? Now, this business breaks even when it sells 100 t-shirts. What happens if it's selling 101 t-shirts? Is it still breaking even if it's selling 101 t-shirts? The business is selling 101 t-shirt. In the month of January, they sold 101 t-shirts. Are they making a profit? Are they making a loss? Or are they breaking even? Profit, loss, or break even, guys? If it's selling 101 t-shirts. Yes, it's making a profit. It's selling one extra t-shirt, it's making a profit. Of course. Absolutely. Now, if something confusing like this happens in the exam, look at this. If the business ends up selling 100 and you get the answer 100.25. Now what do? Now you're stuck. What is that? What is that going to be? If you get an answer in the decimal point, you have to round it off and say that the business needs to sell 101 t-shirts. If it says 100, if it's a round answer, it's selling 100 t-shirts. But if it says 100.25 in your calculation, that means it's 101 because there's no such thing as 25. Okay? There's no such thing as the quarter, so you have to add the whole thing. Don't get confused if you get a decimal point answer in break even, and don't start panicking. Okay? Now, guys, I want you to make a choice here. I've got leadership styles on hand. I've got production methods, and I've got lean production. I want you guys to vote for one of the 3 topics because I'm only going to cover any one of them because we're running out of time and I want to focus on the exam technique. And I can't really cover everything to today. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. We're running out of time. We've only got about 35 minutes left. And I just want you to really prioritize one of the topics, whatever you find more difficult: leadership, production methods, and lean production. I do believe all 3 of them are very, very, very 101% important topics. And it's something that I always focus on with my students when I'm taking classes all year round. These are the important topics I focus on with my students. And if you guys were with me, you guys would have done it in great detail. But right now, I can't do it with you. So I just want you to just choose one and I'll do that with you guys. You guys want production methods? Fine, I'll do production method then. And then you guys are going to get these PowerPoint slides anyway. So you can go over the leadership style and lean production later on your own. Okay? All right. Too much last minute revision, huh? Okay. Let's talk about production methods here now. a very core, one of the core topics in the syllabus. Okay. Three core production methods that are part of your syllabus, that is job production, which focuses on making one product at a time. It's mostly customized, tailor-made products made for specific customer preferences and made just for them based on their choice, measurement, taste, or their requirement. It allows the business to focus on just one product, and it usually focuses on a niche market for specific, unique customers, right? So this could be any product, for example, a designer dress, a wedding dress, a customized birthday cake or a wedding cake, or even your dentist appointment. Your dentist appointment is a service, and it's in the job production because everybody has different teeth, and the dentist is using different techniques for every individual, right? The core thing with job production is that you need highly skilled employees because this is usually manual work, and it's so unique. So that's why employees need to be highly skilled for them to be able to produce something so unique for individuals, for the business to actually sell and meet that niche. Job production businesses can charge a high price, which allows them to have a high profit margin because of the customization and the unique and the nicheness of the product. And employees, they kind of have new job every day. They're making different things every day, so they won't get bored, and that's the advantage. And the customers can really customize, and they can get exactly what they want, and the one-on-one unique customer service allows them to really be satisfied. It ensures customer satisfaction and customer retention. Disadvantage, highly skilled employees are required, due to which you have to pay higher salaries, leading to an increase in cost. And then highly skilled employees may not always be available, or you might have to provide them with training, which can also be expensive. Batch production is focusing on producing in smaller groups or chunks. So it involves producing in smaller quantities. For example, I am running a bakery. I have a batch of 100 cupcakes, 100 1 pound bento cakes, 100 donuts, and 100 cookies. These are small batches. It allows me to produce multiple things, allows me to have some flexibility, and make different sizes or variations of colors. However, it is not as flexible as job production in such a sense that you cannot cater to individual needs. You will be producing in smaller groups, right? And it is not fully automated. It's some mostly manual plus some machinery. So there is a chance of less efficiency, more errors. And then finally comes floor production, where you're producing in mass quantities. These are your common products: soap, toothpaste, shampoo, body washes, right? These are the things that are generic, available in the market, sold at a competitive price. You can't charge a high price for it because it's a generic product available for everybody. And it it's highly automated. You've got massive amount of machinery that's producing these products, which makes the production process expensive in such a way that you're paying a massive amount for the machinery, and then paying a lot for the maintenance of the machinery. And you can't really have a strong competitive advantage here because you're making a common product. Okay, and then the product cannot be tailored to specific needs. However, it has the biggest advantage, flow production, that job and batch does not, which is economies of scale. Economies of scale is when your unit cost reduces when you're producing large quantities. For example, I am a t-shirt business and I want to buy cotton. 100 tons of cotton I'm buying, my supplier will be like, oh my God, you're such a big customer for me. I don't want you to go to the competition. So I'll give you a discount because you're buying in such large quantity. And if somebody else was getting 1 meter for $10, the supplier is giving me 1 meter for $5. My unit cost has reduced. Why? Because I am buying a large quantity. That is purchasing economies of scale. Uh, this is bulk buying, purchasing economies of scale allows the business to have lower unit cost, eventually a higher profit margin. That is the most important advantage in flow production. Are we clear? Kareen, no, they don't lose less profit by buying in bulk. In fact, they make more profit because their cost of production is low and their selling price is still the same, and they're buying in large quantity. Because of that, their unit cost is reduced, which has allowed them to have a high profit and a high profit margin. Okay. Excellent. All right, guys. So I really wanted to do lean production. I love teaching lean production, and I had a really fun video to show you guys as well on lean production. And I unfortunately cannot cover that because we're running out of time. And I feel exam technique is more important right now. So I would say when you get access to the free resources, you can go check out this video on lean production. It's very resourceful. And that's just how my classes all year round are. I show videos, it's fun, it's interactive. We always do that. All right. Okay, now let's talk about the exam technique. All right, I want everybody to wake up. Okay, let's talk about exam technique and the command words. Okay. In your exam, you might see some words, command words. Look for the command words. State, outline. Your state and outline simply means it's usually like a 1 mark or a 2 mark question, 1 mark in Edexcel, 2 mark in Cambridge, and or I'd outline. You simply in state, you can literally state is a 1 mark question in Edexcel. You are just gonna write a 1 word answer. In Cambridge, you're going to get you get a 2 mark question that is the minimum amount of marks that you have, and that's outline. Outline requires a point to be made to the answer. So a single line answer. Uh, so you score 1 mark for writing identifying, and then you develop that point applied to the case study to score the 2nd mark. If you do not apply to the case study, you are going to lose out on 1 mark. For 2 marks, 1 mark for knowledge, 1 mark for application. Okay. Then your next command word is explain and analyze. My favorite ones, you could say. Explain questions in Edexcel are 3 mark questions. Same goes for Cambridge, 3 mark, 4 mark, 5 mark. Explain and analyze. In explain, you make a point. You give us a reason that this is often because, and you state the consequence. Analyze means argue, okay? So you give a single counter argument in Edexcel. However, in Cambridge, you're just going to write exactly what the question is asking for. Explain the advantage to Bob of opening a new shop. Bob will be able to benefit from higher sales, more profit, and blah, blah, blah. Stay to the point in their case. And then finally, your final answers, guys, discuss and justify and recommend are your long answers, your 9 markers and 12 markers in Edexcel, and your 8 markers and 12 markers in Cambridge, especially in paper 2. These are your discuss and justify questions where you have to give a conclusion. Your justify question requires focusing on one of the options given. You're going to be given two options or three options sometimes in a 12 marker. You have to argue for each one of them. And then in your recommendation, tell them exactly what you think should be done. So your justify and your justification recommend question requires a conclusion. You have to tell them what it is. Now, I want you to understand that let's say it's a 9-mark question, or for Cambridge, an 8-mark question. You're going to write an introduction, a main chunky 2 body paragraphs, and that's it. 9 markers or 8 markers do not require a conclusion or a recommendation. Okay. So three paragraphs, introduction and 2 body paragraphs. What do I mean by body paragraphs? I want you to literally memorize this structure, whether you get a 5-mark question, whether you get a 9-mark question, an 8-mark question, or a 12-mark question, when you should adopt the same signature style for body paragraphs. Your body paragraph should start with directly writing a point. You write, you imagine, you read the question, you imagine as if you're in grade 1 and you're answering a 1-mark question. You directly look at the question, write a single line answer, directly answering the question from what you've learned from the book. You will write a single line point that is going to give you 1 mark for your knowledge. Then you give evidence, application. From the extract, if you've been you're doing it from the case study, and if you're doing it in an Excel, the first part, section A of paper 1, doesn't have any application, right? So you can give an example of your own. Maybe Apple, McDonald's, or any random business would work. Give an application. If it's the case study, do it for the from the case study. Okay. Create a scenario, give some evidence, look at the case study, pick the evidence. You can even in brackets write the line number. Please, guys, application does not mean copying text from the case study and throwing them in the paragraph. That is not application. Refer to how it is backing up your point. In brackets, write the line number. You write the line number, you're taking your answer straight up to an A grade, right? So write a point, give an evidence, and then analyze. Build a chain of analysis. What is a chain of analysis? Remember these terms. Write one advantage or write one supporting point of your explanation of your knowledge of the point that you made, and then tell us how it will benefit the business or refer to the question. Write a chain of analysis. This will allow the business to, leading to. These are the phrases you use for your chain of analysis. Okay, guys? When I say build a chain of analysis, you are going to use words like this will lead to, allowing the business to, leading to, this leads to, helping the business, blah, blah. You need to develop, and don't straight up say, oh, this will allow the business to make profit. No, you don't make profit right away. First, you generate sales, then you get your sales revenue, then you make profit. This will allow the business to, so start small from the circle and build your way up on the chain of analysis. This is what I mean by chain of analysis. Start small, grow big. This will allow the business to retain customers, leading to higher profitability, higher sales, leading to higher sales revenue, eventually allowing the business to make more profit. I went from the root and then I built my way towards the top. Whenever you jump straight up to the top, you can't make your way down. And then your chain of analysis you will be confused in the exam. You'll be like, oh my God, I've already written it. What else do I write? No. Think from the root and then develop. Okay. So chain of analysis, go from the root and then start developing. You don't make profit right away. First First, you attract customers, then you retain customers, then you make sales, then you make sales revenue, then you make profit. Okay? And then finally, your counter argument. Write your however. The disadvantage of your point that you've made. This is what I mean by body paragraphs, 9 markers, 12 markers, and your 8 markers in Cambridge. Write a point, apply to the case study, build a chain of analysis, write the advantages or the for side, and then do the against side. And in your 9 marker and your 8 marker, I say write 2 main body paragraphs. You're going to write 2 paragraphs that include knowledge application analysis, counter analysis. You need to have a chunky paragraph which includes all 4 things. Okay? Let me show you an example of a paragraph I wrote for you guys. The question says, imagine this is a nine marker for Edexcel and an 8 marker for Cambridge. This is my body paragraph. I've written my introduction. I would define cash flow in my introduction paragraph, and then I would write my first body paragraph that says, HP can use cash flow forecast, and then the bold and underlined part is my knowledge, to manage his sources of finance. A cash flow forecast allows him to see his inflows and outflows. I'm showing off my knowledge. The green part is my knowledge. Blue part is my application. Extract E from the case study clearly shows the negative closing balance in January and February. This is my application. I've got my mark for application. This could mean, now I'm writing my analysis using my chain of analysis words. You can see in my analysis, I've used 3 chain of analysis. I've bold and underlined the 3 key terms of my chain of analysis. As an examiner, even myself as an examiner, when I'm checking your papers, I literally look for your key terms. Trust me, your examiners are not reading every single word that you write, guys. They're looking for your keywords. We always skim through. So, exam tip, when you write a chain of analysis, underline it. This could mean underline it. Therefore, underline it. Allowing him, underline it. So that your examiner can see that the child has used 3 chain of analysis. Let's give him a band 8, give him a band 9, or give him an A star. So my green is my knowledge, my blue is my application, my orange is my analysis. This could mean that he may have to manage his inflows for his working capital. Therefore, the cash flow will help him be prepared for these months with a source of finance, such as his own savings or an overdraft, allowing him to keep his newly opened shop running. I've applied again. Now my counter argument. However, since HP is a startup, this is also application. He may face challenges in making an accurate cash flow forecast, and therefore inaccuracies could lead to wrong decision making and unsuitable strategies to be adopted. In my, however, I have again used he may face challenges, 1 chain of analysis. Therefore, another chain of analysis could lead to 3rd chain of analysis. Your 9 marker requires a same body paragraph. Your 12 marker requires the same body paragraph. The only difference between your 8 and 9 marker and your 12 marker is that your 8 and 9 marker requires introduction, 2 main body like this. And your 12 marker requires introduction, 2 to 3 main body like this, and then a recommendation and conclusion. That is the difference between the 2 structures, and that is the structure for your answers. I hope this is clear so far. Now, a lot of students get confused how to write a conclusion. How do we write the perfect conclusion? How do we know that we've ticked all the boxes? For the main body, now we know the checklist, right? The checklist is knowledge, application, analysis, counter analysis. I'm getting an A. I've met the requirement, done, dusted. How do I write a perfect conclusion? What is the checklist for perfect conclusion? Now, let me give that to you. AJKO is your checklist for your conclusion. You write your justification and recommendation like this. First of all, answer the question. Should Bob do this or should he do that? Because in the exam, in the 12 marker, they always give you two options. Always give you two options. You know, in an Excel, in your 9 markers as well, you are given two options and you have to recommend. So you have to write a conclusion there as well. But in Cambridge, you don't have to write a conclusion in 8 marker. 12 marker, you have to write a conclusion, and your 12 marker at Excel and Cambridge both, you are given two options and you have to choose one. So the first line in your conclusion, you are going to directly answer the question and take a side. Should Bob do this or should Bob do that? Then you justify it. Why should he do this? Write a single advantage that you have not already written in your body paragraph. Always leave your strongest advantage for your conclusion. And then say, write a counter argument. Say, although what I'm saying might be bad because it has this disadvantage, but it has a bigger advantage in the long term. So you know how when you say you're trying to convince your parents to give you a phone, buy you a new phone. You're like, Mom, I want you to buy me a new phone because it will allow me to stay connected to you guys. Although the mobile phone can be damaging for my eyes, however, I can put the yellow light filter on, and in the short term, I will be able to and then in your O, you're going to say overall why it's a winner and say the short-term benefit and then how it will benefit in the long term. So in the short term, I may be able to stay connected with you guys. However, in the long term, I might be able to start up my own influencing business and generate revenue. So your conclusion checklist is AJKO. Okay. I'm going to show you guys a sample conclusion here. Have a look at this. This is the question that said if the business should use a venture capitalist as a source of finance or or become a public limited company or become a private limited company. So this is my conclusion. HP should use a venture capitalist to source finance for his growth plan. I've achieved my A. Answer the question. I've achieved that. Then I have my J. Justify. This will help him retain control on his business, profit, as well as management. I've given an advantage in single line. This is my justification. What is the key problem? Although the venture capitalist may take some percentage of the ownership and profit in return, however, in the short term, however, HP will be the one making core decisions and retain ownership while the expert advice and suggestions from the venture capitalist will help HP since he does not have any experience in running a business which will help his business be successful in the long run. So the gray is the short-term advantage and the green is the long-term advantage. And this, guys, is the official checklist for your conclusion. And this is your sample conclusion. I hope this really, really helps you guys. And I would love to analyze the case study together. So you know how, what happens when I'm taking my classes with my students on regular days, we literally open a case study and we analyze a case study together. And we annotate the case study, we make annotations. I have beautiful annotations with my students, and you guys have really missed out on that part. And I would have done it right now, but we've run out of time, unfortunately. But you have an advantage, which is you at the end of the class are going to get access to our resource center. The Academy's resource center is full of classes that I took during the entire year. You can simply get access to your exam boards and go on the lectures. And when you look at the lectures, you're going to be able to see any topic you're not familiar with. You can watch the recording. I was teaching my students. We had an interactive fun class. You can watch the recording, revise that content. But there are some lectures that are called paper practice or paper 2, paper 1 case studies. You can click on those recordings and see how I have analyzed the case studies with my students and how we've written our answers. This is very, very important. And it is something, it's although I hope you guys must and may have done this in school, but doing paper practice, case study analysis, you should be doing at least 2 months before the exam. By the time your exam is around 2 months, you should be analyzing your case study and your analysis should be on your fingertips. So next year, when you guys go in your A levels and you choose business studies, trust me, guys, business studies, although the content remains the same, the expectations and the exam criteria gets a little more difficult. You need to start early. Starting early is the key. Maybe for GCSEs, studying 4 months before may have been the way out, but I'm not kidding, guys. A levels is not a joke. You have to start early, start studying quickly, and get in the habit. 4 months before the actual exam, start your paper practice for A levels. O levels, 2 months before. Okay. And we have our batches starting from 1st of October, 2024. For your October exams, our batches are starting in June. If you or anybody you know is appearing in October, November for their GCSEs or A levels, whatever, the batch classes and one-on-one individual classes are starting from June, and you can and then students who are appearing in Jan-Feb 2025, the batch is again starting in June 24, and the students who are appearing in May-June 2025, our batch is starting in August 2024. You need to be very, very quick with this. Why? Because one, I always have my slots booked. Trust me, my slots are always full. It's really difficult for me to give slots. And if you want like a specific teacher, you really have to call dibs on the teacher way before the deadline, before the batch is starting. Otherwise, because we have very limited slots and we take only a few students, we don't take a lot of students. So you have to make sure that you meet the deadline way in advance. You book the teacher and get your slots booked, because otherwise after that I stop taking slots. Then you probably get another teacher. If you're comfortable with them, amazing. If not, it is what it is. And because we have very exclusive, very small group of students that we take, and my slots are always full. Trust me, believe me, it's always full. I think some of my students are in the meeting right now. Ask them. They cancel classes. I cannot reschedule because I'm always busy. So if you want to sign up for classes, you can just take on the QR code here, scan and get in touch. Otherwise, the number is the WhatsApp number, and the calling number for our administration and admissions is here. You can sign up for a free trial class. And I'm not sure the administration will be much better to guide you if the trial classes are free or are of charge, but you can inquire. Please take a screenshot of this slide and get in touch. Call dibs. My name's Miss Maheen. You want a slot with me, you better start booking now. My slots, I've I've got some of my slots are already booked for June, so I have only a few slots left. So there we are. And this officially marks the end of our session, guys. Before I come to the conclusion and the question answer session, Trust me, I have some exam tips that I used as a student when I was sitting my exam. Stay calm and focus during the exams. Don't let the things around you distract you, even if there is a World War III. Focus on your paper. I will tell you something. When I gave my A-level business studies exam, I pretended that I am a business expert. And in my paper two and my paper three, some business has brought their problem, a case to me, and they want me to solve it for them. I literally took it like that. And you know how we tell our friends, if you do this, this is going to happen. If you do this, this is going to happen. But I think you should do this. This is what needs to be done in paper two. Give options and then give your advice. Pretend you are a business expert and then give suggestions, advice. In your body paragraphs, say things, use modal verbs of possibility, say may, might, but in conclusion, command the business to do what you want them to do. The business must, they should, they have to command them. Guys, get a good night's sleep before the exam. Don't stay awake. Last minute revision is useless. You're going to forget everything. Don't revise last minute. Don't grab your books last minute. Study way beforehand, especially for A levels, guys. Start preparing early. Believe me, first-hand experiences. I've been teaching for 10 years. I've seen students starting A levels 4, 5 months, even 6 months before. It's not enough time. A levels is very extensive business studies. And a free tip from me. Chocolate helps your brain work faster. I remember I always took a dark chocolate with me in the exam hall. Or I would always drink a Milo or chocolate milk before my exam because it always got my brain working faster. It is, I don't know if it's in my head, but it'll always help me. Eat a dark chocolate. Trust me, chocolate helps your brain work faster. Now is the time to do past papers aggressively. The learning time has passed. Stop learning, start doing past papers. And I wish you guys good luck. I look forward to maybe seeing you guys in A levels and getting a lot of good news from you guys that you guys got A stars and A's. Would be a proud moment for me. Now, although time is up, but I'll take 5 minutes. If anybody has any questions, write them in the chat and I will answer you guys. So start throwing your questions in the chat and I'll answer them. It can be about any topic, anything. How did you find today's session? No questions. Okay, it was good. Lovely. Thank you, Kareen. Thank you, Ayat. Any questions? Anybody else got any questions? No questions? Everything's clear? I hope I'm getting a lot of A stars. If anybody has a question, they can ask me. They can raise their hand in the meeting. I can unmute you and you can ask me. If you feel very shy, you can write it on chat as well. And thank you so much, Miss Mehak, for your support. I can take over now. You can go get yourself a nice cup of tea. Thank you. No questions, guys. Abdul, Gabrielle. All right, guys. I'm so glad that everything is clear. Nobody has any question. This is amazing. All right. If you haven't written your exam board email address in the WhatsApp chat, please do that so that we can share the resources with you. Today's recording will be shared with you. And I wish you guys good luck. Thank you and goodbye.